Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, inside the StreamYard studios. Either you're watching us through YouTube or Twitch, we are live. But of course, I'm not alone because I have a very special guest who's going to be joining alongside me as we get a chance to have these conversations going. I have somebody who is not only a recent member of the Fighting Now sponsor team, someone who I admire, somebody who I love, someone who is not only blazing inside the cage, but of course outside the cage. She is my best friend. She is the one, the only, the sweetheart herself, Miss Chrissy Long.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hello, how are you? Hello, Miss Thing. How are you doing?
I am good. I'm happy we finally get to talk.
I
How are
know,
you?
and I'm definitely doing good. As The Rock says, finally, we finally get a chance to finally get to be on here. I mean, so how things been going for you?
Really, really busy. It never fails that as soon as I get, some news or anything, I end up getting extremely busy. So my life lately has been very hectic.
I was gonna say, don't you have any news you want to get a chance to share with us?
Ooh. Yeah, I do.
Alrighty,
Dun
are
dun dun
you
dun dun
dun
dun
dun
dun
dun?
dun 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 dun. Dun. Go ahead.
Alrighty,
Um,
here. Ta-da!
Yeah, March 16th, I will be fighting again. I think this is like, I'm starting to lose count. My fifth kickboxing match. I am extremely excited. It's in St. Anne at the community center. So come out. It's all ages finally. So doesn't matter what age you are, you can finally come to this one. So come support the girl. Looking to get another win finally.
And not to mention that, of course, if you guys want to get a chance to follow Chrissy, and which, by the way, I actually have your Instagram name right this time, at the sweetheart Chrissy Long on Instagram. You was right. I was wrong earlier whenever
I
we
was gonna
got
say I
this
thought I
started.
changed it.
Yeah, you did. You did. That was on my part. That was on my part. But of course, awesome news. We get a chance to share live on both YouTube and Twitch. I mean, and of course, I'm very excited for you because, like I mentioned before, you are officially a part of our Fighting Now team. Part of so
I'm
many
so
ladies.
happy.
So many ladies like Lauren Garcia to Cassie Robb to Jordan Edwards to so many ladies, and of course even Hannah. I believe Hannah has been a part of us for sure, and now you're a part of the list of so many women we got a chance to sponsor.
I know. I am so excited. Thank you for that. And we do need to redo that interview with Hannah
Yeah,
whenever we can line that up.
yeah. I messaged her and let her know that we was going live, and she was excited about that. And of course, shout out to Hannah because before we got a chance to have this going on, we know that she had an awesome fight last week at Shamrock Fighting against Daniel Thompson. It was a phenomenal fight.
Man, I'm telling you what, I wish we could drop next podcast. We're dropping that little head kick. That was like picture perfect. I don't know. I know it was beautiful. It
It
was a
was
great
very
fight.
beautiful. It definitely got everybody shook up. I was trying to find where it was, and then you and Hannah told me it was on Facebook. But I'm like, well, Facebook got the lucky clip for sure.
It was such a good back and forth fight. Like that was a good matchup.
And not to mention that, I mean, shout out to both her and Danielle. Those two, they came into this fight, they had a tense stare down, and then at the end, they pretty much showed so much love and so much respect. It's like, it warms my heart because I told you this, I was in the middle of this because I love both of those two.
Hmm.
So, my hands are above my head on that one.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that, and I'm like, Jake, like, look at Hannah, she dropped this girl, and you're like, I'm neutral. I'm like, man, I don't got nobody to cheer with. But
I
it was a good
know.
fight. It was a good fight. They are
It was
both
definitely.
warriors.
It was definitely a good fight for sure. And you know what? I think we definitely need to get a chance to have some people some shout outs, don't we? As regarding the merchandise. I mean,
Yeah, I was about to say, don't you got some news?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Good. Thank you so much for reminding me. As a matter of fact, just as of late, the Fighting Now and of course TMH Fit have got a chance to collab, and we got some brand new merchandise, which means you guys can go get a chance to check out this Live Barely shirt. Shout out to Live because we got some awesome merchandise. As a matter of fact, I actually have some of the shirts right here. If you guys want to check it out, and make sure you guys check out for that. If I can ever find it, oh nope, nope, that will be this one. This
Yep, those are
phenomenal.
nice. I
You
like
guys,
those. They look like baseball shirts to me. I like that
it,
look.
it gave me like Kobe Bryant vibes for sure. It gave me like
Oh
Kobe
yeah, in the
Bryant vibes.
back.
Yes, yes. Hey, look who's in the comment section. What's going on, Gabrielle Roman?
Hey.
Hey, what's going on?
Mm-mm-mm.
We
We're
get a
talking
chance.
about you in a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say I mean, if we're talking about her, we might as well talk about her right now,
We
shall
might as
we?
well talk about her
I'm
now.
I mean, if the queen is on here, we gotta get a chance to talk about her and admire her presence.
She's actually fighting Jade coming up soon.
That's right.
So,
With the flyer you see here, taking on Jade and Mason Wong, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys missed out on my interview with her, make sure you guys go follow me at the Fighting Now because this is a fight that I did not expect for this to happen. I don't think you did either, there, Chrissy. It's going to be a phenomenal fight. One thing I really love is that both you and Gabrielle have a lot of love when it comes to their faith, and of course she's loving the things that we're doing for her. But one thing's for
mhm.
sure is that both ladies are going to this fight wanting to get a chance to take home a win. I know Gabrielle, she wants to take on Britton Hart, someone who I know you're not maybe a fan of, but she wants to go after that 115 title. So, what is your thoughts and your opinions about this big fight coming up in March?
Man, I think that's a good fight for her. One thing about Jade is I feel like she's pretty ruthless. You know, she's a sweet girl, but she's ruthless. And that works in her favor. But Gabby's tougher than nails, and she's like a little spitfire. So it's gonna be like who gets the best of who with this one. But as far as, if she wants to go after Britain, I don't talk a lot, but I'll be on her side for that one. I'll be rooting. I'll be
Uh,
rooting for her for that one.
and she's also saying, "Congrats, Chrissy, on the fight news." She's saying, "Congratulations to you."
Thank you.
When I told her about this interview that we had, Gabrielle, I can tell you, Chrissy was excited for the fact that I mentioned Chrissy to you, and you definitely need to go follow her, especially with how much you guys believe. I know you guys would have a really great conversation on that. And of course, another thing
Yeah.
too is like both her and Jade. You're looking at two ladies who want to get a chance to go into the new year with a lot of momentum. And here's the first example of it. I mean, I believe this might be the first event in Canada. And out of all things, I mean, you're going to get a chance to have your first fight, and look at how everything's going to be. This is going to be a huge fight for both ladies, and this probably might be on the co-main event mark.
I'm thinking it is. If not, yeah, yeah, it is.
It's definitely going to be. It's definitely going to
Who
be.
else? Who else? You know what I mean? But that's gonna be. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to subscribe again. My monthly subscription. Yep.
I mean, not to mention that, of course, you guys definitely don't want to miss out on that. Make sure you guys go check out the BKFC app. I think it's $5 a month, probably the best
Yeah, it's
$5.
nothing.
It's nothing for sure. And of course, while we're talking about bare knuckle, you know what? I think, Chrissy, we definitely need to switch topics and move on to this big fight. You know the fight that we're
Yes.
talking about. For anybody
Mhm.
that's wondering, on the left side is Taylor Starling. On the right side, it is Jenny Savage. These two ladies are going to be fighting this weekend, and there's a lot of animosity between these two because the thing
So
about
fun.
this, oh, it's crazy. I mean, Taylor was the one that called out
Such good
Jenny.
TV.
Such good. I mean, as Vince McMahon would say, such good shit, right?
Yes.
So both ladies are coming off with losses in their respective ways. I think Taylor lost to Jade, and I think Jenny lost in that 115 title fight to Bretton Hart. So both these ladies are desperate need of winning this fight this coming Saturday. And personally, though, this isn't the first time these two have ever fought. I don't know if you ever known about this, but these two fought back in MMA. I think it was Jenny that
Mhm.
got the win over Taylor. But however, Taylor, who I talked to yesterday, said that that was a different Taylor back then. This is a different Taylor now.
And it
When they
was, and it
rot,
was a whole different sport too.
yeah, not to mention that. I mean, Taylor said it best. I mean, she is a brawler. She is a striker,
Mhm.
and they both been wanting to get a chance to have this fight for quite some time. Even whenever Taylor was fighting, you can still see Jenny talking, pardon my language, but a lot of shit down in the comment section. And it goes to
Mhm.
show that these two have not forgotten one another. Hence, for
And
the
that shit
reason
gets annoying. You know what I mean? You're just like, so that fuels the fire.
it definitely builds a fire for sure because I mean these two ladies, I mean, whether they like each other or not, you can't deny
Yeah.
how good they are in the ring.
Exactly. Yeah, and the thing too with Taylor is Taylor's not used to losing a whole lot. Like Taylor has been dominating for the most part, and so she's coming off of, a loss that maybe she wasn't ready for, and that's going to light a fire under her too. She's energetic and Jenny's energetic, and like I said, that's going to be just like Gabby and Jade, and it's going to be energetic and fun. It's going to be little spitfires in there. Those weight classes are nothing but warriors. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, not to mention too, for anybody who's been a fan of Taylor Stalin, she's usually fighting 125 to 130. This is her first
Hmm.
fight down to 115, so she wants to make the move down to 115 because there are plenty of ladies that are fighting. I mean, we talked about it. Gabrielle, who usually fights 115, moving up to 120 to 125. These two
Hmm.
ladies are in desperate need. If you think about this, though, I don't know if you remember, but it seems like the downfall of Starlin has started ever since she lost that title fight against Christine Vieira. She's lost to
Yeah.
her. She's lost to Jade. This is a must win fight for Taylor. And on the other side of things, if you look at Jenny Savage, I mean, she's fought in Britain Hart two times and has lost. I mean, she's been on kind of a losing streak herself. So this is a must win for both these ladies coming up this Saturday in
Right.
Albuquerque, New Mexico. And my question
Hmm.
to you is, I mean, looking at the record, looking at the history, who do you see going to be the favorite into this fight?
The favorite?
Yeah,
Oh, Taylor. Taylor brings so much hype. From her walkout, just to her interviews, to her outfits. I would say Taylor. Now, do I know who's gonna win? I'm gonna tell you what. I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue. It's gonna be whoever brings her A game. But I think
yeah.
favorite wise, probably Taylor.
I definitely do agree, but however, though, if you think about the experience, it definitely goes to Jenny Savage because she has fought in that weight class more than Taylor has. This is Taylor's first time in the 115 weight
Yeah, in
division.
115. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because she's had so many opportunities in the 120 to 125, but the thing is, though, is that whenever she first started, she took on ladies like Chrissy Segalia, her very first fight, which she won in incredible bloody
That's a tongue
fashion.
twister. Tongue twister.
Yeah, it definitely is a ton to us. Where you also look at she took on I think Hannah her or I think yeah I take that back. Cassandra Robb her second fight, Hannah her third fight, and then that's how she got the title shot against Christine Vieira until she lost, and then she tried to make it up against Jade, but it did not even happen. So I
Hmm.
mean, really truly, if you want my prediction on how this fight's going to be, I would not be surprised if this does go all 5 rounds or however
Yeah.
long they do go. I do believe it's 5 rounds. Gabrielle, you can correct me on the comment section. But experience wise, you want to say Jenny, but for me, I'm going to have to go with Taylor because let me tell you why. If there's anybody that's in desperate need of a win, it is Taylor because she has
Hmm.
shown so much heart. She has shown so much that she can do. It's more than just the sexual side of things that she puts on her Instagram and her
She's very
OnlyFans.
vulnerable.
Yeah. And really, truly, I think this week you need to put that to the side and focus on Jenny because she is not one to mess with. As anything, she likes to do a lot of mind games for sure.
She's good. Yeah, she's good, and she's got that. And that's kind of where I think maybe Christine got to her too. It's kind of with the mind. And
Yeah.
if you let Jenny, Jenny will do that to you too.
We'll
So,
definitely,
and
yeah, say
Jenny's
we'll
not bad,
definitely,
so she can't let that get to her. She cannot. And but Taylor's good. Taylor's good. If she can bring her A game, it's going to be a good fight. You know what I mean?
uh,
But
yeah,
yeah, Jenny's got the veteran in that weight class. So
yeah,
luckily, females, we have like kind of the ability to fluctuate our weight classes a little bit. So if that's an easy cut for Taylor and she's energetic and she feels good, then it should be no problem. But if she has a hard time getting down there, she might come into that fight drained, you know. So we'll just have to see how her first cut to 115, how that takes a toll on her body. So,
yeah. I mean, and not to mention that, I think we'll definitely see how things go at the press conference because Gabrielle can tell you, any BKFC fighter can tell you, is that when it comes to the press conferences, things get usually tensed up. And I don't know if they're going to be doing one for the prospect series, which, in my opinion, it should have been on the last card that happened back in December, I believe. Y'all can correct
Hmm.
me in the comment section, but you would have thought that this would have been saved for Knucklemania. But what what's so crazy about this fight is that Jenny said that she would not be on any social media until she gets that fight. Taylor, her fans, so many people, thousands of people, even the entire BKFC world wants this fight. And I can honestly tell you, I want this fight as much as anything because I see so much in these two that the fact that, this is about time that, hey, if they fought before, they need to fight now. And now is the time that this coming Saturday, they will get to fighting. But I think the press conference is going to be
I'm
one thing that,
excited.
yeah, I
They
think the
are, because
press.
that's when all the smack talking happens, and that's when it gets all good. So we have to be renewing my membership this month too.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll definitely have to renew our membership for this coming Saturday. Which, by the way, fans, be sure you guys tune in for that. And of course, Jade versus Gabrielle Roman on March 2nd. It's all on the BKFC app. If you guys are in the Albuquerque, New Mexico area, and if you still want your tickets, head on over to bkfctickets.com. Now, another thing I definitely want to switch to is talking about you real quick. Obviously, we just announced your big fight announcement, which congratulations on that. But of course, the last time we got a chance to saw you was against Michaela Bushka, and it was a
Mhm.
phenomenal fight. Bree and I, we talked about this so much. I mean, what's going to be the mindset going into this next fight?
Just a clear one. Honestly, so much stuff happened the last camp that like I wasn't clear minded, and I think that's one big thing that as fighters we have to be, because you can have an amazing camp, but if you don't walk into that cage or that arena that night clear minded, to hell with your camp. Honestly, like to hell
Yeah,
with your camp. And with Michaela, I tried to be as clear minded as I could given my circumstances. But it was a hard mental fight, but it was a fun physical fight. So, you know, being clear minded next fight is probably going to be the biggest thing. I'm back with a coach, a previous coach that, I didn't leave him under any bad circumstances. We just didn't have a place at the time. And then I ended up having a baby. But I'm back with him. He's a great person. His name's Jared Black. And he wanted me to tell y'all that if he was mentioned, he was handsome, trustworthy, and something else. I don't remember. But no, he's a great coach. And I know that he actually has my best interest at heart. So that's one thing that takes a lot of stress off me, and I think will help me in my fight. And he is a great boxing coach. So
yeah,
having someone I know that has my back, and then just finding a good solid gym with good training partners, that's going to be the key to this next fight, because it if you have all that, it helps solidify confidence within yourself, so
yeah.
you go into the fight clear minded, you go in there more confident.
And of course,
That's my thing.
not to mention that, of course, I'm going to show the viewers that are watching this something that you've got a chance to be a part of, and you can explain to us
Yeah,
what's going on. This is a part of your fight camp. So, what exactly is going on in this photo right here?
I'm glad you brought this up, because actually our pastor brought it up at church church today. I go to Enjoy Church in Alton, and our pastor Darren, he brought this up. He was like, "Who does ice bass in here?" Because we're talking about being uncomfortable. And there's a few of us that raised our hand because there's a couple of MMA fighters at our church, and I raised my hand. They were like, "Well, who still does them?" And I still had my hand up, and he was like, "What are you doing for?" And I'm like, "Well, either we do this. I'm gonna butcher the name, chirotherapy, something maybe. I'm
Chirotherapy, yeah, that is correct.
saying it
Yeah,
bad. Yeah, or ice baths is about the same thing. This is just the cold steam. But I said I do it for muscle recovery. Right here it got about negative 200 to almost
34.
300 degrees. Yeah, right here I think I was coming down, and I'm guessing the coldness heals your muscles. And that one happened 2 fights ago against That was before I fought Courtney, and it actually really, really relaxes your muscles. Not sure the science to it, but it helps. That it's just the equivalent of ice baths, except you're not soaking wet.
Yeah. And of course, not to mention that, and of course, something I definitely do want to get a chance to ask you is that, what's going to be the one thing you're trying to focus on for this next fight? Obviously, you're getting your sponsors right now, but what's going to be the main key as far as having a good fight camp?
Making it as stressless as possible. Which I don't know, sometimes I don't think we have control about that. But like I'm trying to get my sponsors taken care of by January. I don't want to have to deal with it no more. I do shirts every camp, so I'm gonna try and get that taken care of and like have a cutoff date for that. But I'm just making sure I stay consistent with it and kind of jumble being a mom and working, but just try to make it as stressful, like as stressless as possible.
And of course, I can't wait to see that logo above your head. As far as that logo is going to be a part of the shirt, I'm very excited about that.
I'm
And
hoping they let me fight in the gloves. I'm hoping that,
ooh,
yeah, that would be nice. Some
I
some promotions do.
Hey, if you guys have missed out on the gloves, I should have put a picture up here, but and I did not expect this, but you had H was it HQA that makes the gloves?
Okay. Yeah. HKA.
HKA to make these one of a kind, the Fighting Now gloves, which by the way,
Yeah.
you guys can go check out on our Instagram.
Yeah, HKA is awesome. I have had them for the past 3, 4 fights. It's run by Nick Sampson, and he is amazing at customizing things. He's done my tie shorts, my hand wraps, shirts. He's made me custom gloves for people for Christmas. Like, he's great.
And not to mention that, of course, I mean we're actually collaborating with HQA or HKA. Sorry about that for the
HQA?
butcher. Whatever.
HQA?
Whatever now. Don't at me on this now, Chrissy. But if you guys missed out on the gloves, one side says Chrissy and the other one side says Long, and it has the Fighting Now logo. That's awesome. And of course, we're actually collaborating with them on Instagram. And I think Brittany sent me a pair of those types of gloves, autograph gloves from them as
Yeah, she
well.
has. She's sponsored by them too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Which, by the way, shout out to them, and of course, thank you for the gloves because I never thought I would see the logo on a pair of boxing gloves. And you guys need to go check out her Instagram at
It
the
goes
Sweetheart Christian
perfectly
one.
with my outfit that I'm gonna be wearing. So I was like, I got to. I got
I
to.
can't wait and cross my fingers that you get a chance to wear those gloves. All right, now, by the way, if you guys have any questions for the both of us, we're watching this live. We're both on YouTube and Twitch, so feel free to send us any questions or any comments. We'd love to get a chance to answer them all. Now, of course, the next topic, I mean, obviously, we got a chance to talk about the bare knuckle fights. We got a chance to talk about you, and of course, the importance of a successful fight camp. But I want to get a chance to talk about something that I think is near and dear to me, and of course, near and dear to you. Are you ready?
Mhm.
All right. So at the end of the day, we are all, we're all human beings, whether if you're a fight interviewer or a fighter, and we all struggle with not only just in a physical way with how much the sport has done for us, but of course in a mental way. And I want to get a chance to ask you this, but how much has the sport impacted you in such a mental way?
It's so well. I started it when I was in high school. I was like, I have to have something to compete. So really, back then when I started, it wasn't for my mental. It was just for competition to keep me physical. Because back then, what did I have to stress about? I was 16, whatever. So that's where I got in it. But now that I'm older, it's became my outlet. Like, when I feel upset or I feel ragey, because we're all humans, we all have those emotions. I hit a Tide pad, instead of wanting to hit a wall or something. Not like I'm a crazy person that wants to hit walls all the time, but when you feel like that build up, you go hit a Tide pad, you go to class, you smile because your favorite person's in the gym. You don't have to feel crazy and built up and stare at the walls. Like, mental health is such a huge thing. So it's like fighting at the gym is kind of that outlet to get those emotions out in a healthy way. And even if
Yeah,
you're not, sparring, which sparring is a whole nother outlet, that's for the crazy people. Um,
like me.
but even, yeah, even if you're not doing that, even if you're just training, like being able to hit a pad or hit a bag as hard as you can. Sometimes that's just an outlet for people that have so much to deal with outside of the gym.
And the other thing too is like whenever I first started, it was all because I got bullied back in middle school for being in special ed, and there wasn't any gyms in the Pineville area. Thankfully, there was one that my middle brother went to. It was an Oceana called Psych Word MMA, which by the way, shout out to Psych Word. And when I first started doing it, I didn't know anything too about MMA or any of that stuff, but well, all of a sudden, when I first started training, when I first started, hitting the pads and everything, I was like, holy shit. I mean, like, this is definitely going to be good for something who I've been struggling with for quite some time, whether it be being bullied or just struggling with like depression or anxiety. Because, like, that's one of the things I also struggle with myself. And yet, this
Hmm.
sport has helped me out in such an amazing way. And of course, when I see fighters like you, when I see Gabrielle, when I see Lauren Garcia, when I see so many women's fighters, it makes me inspired because I see what you women go through just on a daily basis. You women go through not only being a mom, but of course, dealing with work bullshit, but of course, and so many other things too. And it's really crazy the fact that you girls have gone through probably the craziest things in life, but yet you girls find a way to go through it. And for anybody that's watching this live or will watch this later on, I can't stress this enough. If you guys want to get a chance to be a part of the sport, if you're not being loved by your own family, come join the fighting crew. We'll gladly get a chance to welcome you. And of course, another thing too is that, wait, what?
You look like
Okay,
you're reading something.
yeah, it's one of those bots down there in the comment section from Twitch. I definitely do appreciate that, but thank you. But as I'm trying to say is that if you're not being loved by your own family, you know what, come be a part of the sport, whether if you're an interviewer or a fighter or just the guy that's selling hot dogs in the fifth row. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do. I
The hot
mean,
dog. We appreciate the hot dog guy.
we appreciate the hot dog guy. We
Get
appreciate
hungry.
yeah, I mean, trust me, fighters get hungry for sure. We appreciate the the broadcaster. I mean, like it doesn't matter what you do in the sport, just be a part of it. I mean, when I
And that's
first
another
started,
thing too, is
yeah,
there is so much that goes into putting these shows together that people do not realize. And
no.
like, yeah, but go ahead. Yeah, there's so much that goes into it.
I mean, not to mention that. I mean, you also look at like when I first started doing these interviews, it was when I was part of a podcast called the TNC Sports Talk or whatever the fuck it was called at the time, but and I hate to say it like that, but when I first started, I mean, like I was given a chance to interview fighters, but the problem was I had a time limit, like giving you like a 6 minute time limit, like a 30 minute time limit. You have to
Six
have
minutes?
like about like about not even 60 minutes, maybe like 30 minutes, and then every time if I would try to
Six.
no like maybe 60, maybe 30, maybe less if it all depends because when I first went solo. I didn't have to worry about schedule segments. I didn't have to worry about time limits because I told them, and I'm telling you, what's the whole point of having somebody on the show if you can't give them the opportunity to share their story and speak? I mean,
Yeah, and it causes anxiety. Like, I know that's one of my triggers. Like, while we're talking about it, like feeling rushed or feeling like, oh my gosh, I only have this much time to do this, and this. Like, that's stressful. So then, like, you're sitting there, like for instance, if we only had 30 minutes, I'm like, Jake, hurry up! You got 59 seconds. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, that's stressful. Go
it
ahead.
is definitely is stressful for sure. And I mean, it's like, you know, see, the thing is, when I first started, it was always been about, okay, we're going to talk about this and we're going to talk about that. It's going to be like scheduled segments. Oh, I get a little bit of a little video timer break, trying to hurry up and go to the restroom like 2 minutes and come back. Boom, we're on the air. And everything's just like so rushed. But when I first started doing my own solo stuff, it just feels like a breath of fresh air because now I get to have you. I get to have so many women either on here or on Instagram sharing their stories. And there's like times where like you'll see me be emotional with them because that shit will literally hit you deep when they start
Hmm.
talking about they went through mental and physical abuse or they went through losing their child or whatever it is that they've done that they've went through. This shit hits you in so many ways. And the reason why
Yeah.
I'm talking about that is because I've seen and I've experienced a lot as an interviewer, And of course, you'll eventually see that with me, and I cannot wait. But one thing I can say, and since we're concluding about this topic, is that you know, it, when it comes to having friends like you, when it comes to having friends like Hannah, when it comes to having the friends that I have, thanks to fighting, thanks to combat sports, I can be able to lift my head up and say, I know I'm doing something right. I mean,
Mhm.
you, Hannah, you girls have reminded me of who I am every single day, and I definitely do appreciate that. And that's why I
Yeah,
love. That's what I love about the sport is that the sport can bring us together as a family. Like I call you like my little sister for a reason because you do so much for me and I do so much for you.
we literally talk every day. I swear we talk like every day. If it's not talking about nasty Snickers protein bars or simple stupid voice messages, yeah, we're always checking on each other because I think that's one big thing is even if the world may not be ending on their side, like just a small check-in can make someone's day because not everybody has somebody to do that.
And
So,
yeah, and one thing I can definitely say is like, and I'm gonna say this is that for anybody who is struggling, who is either crying or thinking about a lot of things, trust me, I'll tell you, I've been at your shoes, and the road's never easy
mhm,
because I was tempted on contemplating on suicide 2 years ago when I was trying to do my own solo stuff, and the guy that I'm not going to mention was part of the podcast told me to go myself,
mhm.
and and it was a very strong road. But now looking back, it's because of people like you. It's because of people like Gabrielle Roman. It's because of Lauren Garcia. It's because of TMH Fit. There's so many people, so many reasons behind this page that I get inspired by, and I cannot owe you enough for all that you do for me. It's same thing with Hannah. Same for every person who has been a part of the Fighting Now page. I owe everything I can to you guys.
Of course, we're always here. But that guy, have you forgave him?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good.
He's
I'm happy
forgiven.
for you.
Yeah,
Good. I'm
he's
happy.
forgiven. I mean, I even talked to him a little bit today, but
Even if
one
it's
thing,
for you, it's one thing that helps you too. I realized is like forgiveness is a huge thing.
yeah, yeah, it doesn't matter how much grudge you want to hold on somebody. Trust me, it ain't worth it. Like
It's
it's
not.
best.
And haven't you said some? I mean, you don't have to tell me what, but like, haven't you said some hateful stuff when you're mad? Because I know I have.
I
You
have,
know what I
yeah,
mean? So it's like I never know what the people are going through too. Like, granted, it's not cool for him to say what he said, but like I always try to just think of like what has that person been going through today? Because I've had those days and I've said some mean ass shit. So I'm like, and then I forgive him, but then I try not to take it to heart because no, if you would have offed yourself, like that's something that everyone that would have affected everybody. We wouldn't be talking today. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who wouldn't have Jake today. So, thankfully you didn't, but we pray for those people that do say stuff like that because we don't know what they're going through too.
yeah. I definitely do agree, and I think one thing I say, and this is something that I kind of talk to with some of the fighters is it's like if you see somebody like I'm gonna say Taylor Starling because she's a perfect example. When she lost that fight against Christine, I seen so many of ugly
Hurtful
comments,
comments.
hurtful
Yeah.
comments, and it made me wanted to make a post because like I know you girls don't need anybody to defend y'all because I know you can do it for yourselves. But at the same time, though, it pisses me off seeing how nobody doesn't understand what it's like to be in the cage. Nobody doesn't understand what it's like to be in a fight because at the end of the day, I mean, you guys are still human. You guys are still human to this day, and I
Yeah, we're
think that's
not
something.
robots made out of steel. You know what I mean? Like those little, what was that game as a kid? You had like the red and the, what were those called?
Robobots, I believe. I think they're
I was
soccer
about to say,
bots.
someone drop it in the comments. Soccer bots, yeah. It's like we're
Soccer
not
bots.
those. Like we're not, yeah, we're not invincible. We're human beings, and that's the thing too. Is like everybody's like, yeah, Taylor's winning, and then Taylor lost, and man, they dogged her ass, and for what? She's a human being. She's allowed to have emotions. Like we are
Yeah,
not perfect. They
and
got
it
me. There's always going to be, even if you do great, even if you improve, there's always going to be someone who has some stupid shit to say.
and
Always.
Another thing too, and this goes to any woman who is currently fighting, whether if you are an amateur and pro side of things, and I think they already know this by now. But I mean, of course, me and Amateur, we talked about this earlier in our interview, is that women have started late in the sport. I mean, whenever they first joined the
Hmm.
UFC, we talked about you look at ladies like Michite, Kat Zingano, to Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm. Whenever they first started, they did not know what to expect whenever they first started fighting, especially the amount of reaction that people get. But now, if you think about this, though, women's combat sports has gotten so big that people are they're pretty much making y'all be like easy targets. Be like, okay, well, I'm gonna talk shit about her because yeah, she's a fighter, but yet she's not that vulnerable. Well, let me tell you this though, and this is coming
Yeah.
from experience. These ladies are as humble as they could possibly be. Whether if you root for them, whether if you love them, whether if you hate them, it doesn't matter how you feel about that fighter. You cannot deny girls like Chrissy, girls like Hannah, Gabrielle, Taylor. You name every single woman that have been a part of this ever since they first started. You look at where they are now, and I'm going to tell you this right now, they do so much more like what the men does. And I feel that they definitely need to get more respect. I feel like they definitely need to get more recognition. That's why you see so much on the fighting now. It's not just being sexy, but of course it's them being who they are.
Hmm.
So trust me when
Yeah.
I tell you, if you see Chrissy, if you see anybody that's fighting, either if it's on a pro or amateur card, do yourselves a favor and give these girls the respect that they deserve. Don't go into their
Yeah.
DMs and try to be all horny and type of shit.
Yeah, and not even that. Like, show respect to the fighters who are doing their own thing like that and who aren't doing their own thing like that. You know what I mean? Like, they want to have an OnlyFans. If they want to do this, that. Let them do that. And if you don't agree with it, like, literally, remember the old saying your mom used to say, you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all? Literally, please, please, because, like, that's their life. And if you don't agree with it, okay, but, like, you don't have to be hateful. And then the
Yeah,
people who aren't, like, still respect the people who aren't, you know, wanting to
yeah,
go that route and show themselves off to get followers. Like, we're all different people, but we all still deserve respect at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
exactly, exactly, and that's why I'll end up being the Patrick Star, having my invisible foam finger, and root for you guys at the end of the day.
I love Patrick. I actually have a Patrick change bottle. I love Patrick. It's like,
if
is the
you
Krusty Krab? No, this is Patrick.
if you ever seen that episode of him wearing the number one hat and like the green foam finger, I literally send this to like the girls I'm talking to show my support. It's like, hey, I'm rooting for you, and they're like, you're so cheesy as fuck. I'm like, I know.
Is that not the same episode where SpongeBob has the little like beer hats, the soda
Yes,
hats?
I think so. I think so. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I
I was
think
a
it is.
SpongeBob fan.
I was
I
too.
was, and Scooby Doo.
Hang on a second. I have to put my phone standing up because my phone's at 20%. Because unfortunately, I did not put my phone on charge
You're
like I was
okay.
supposed to.
It still don't look bad. But
If I can
yeah,
ever.
we need to go. We do need to have a podcast too. Maybe getting some of these fighting now girls and just digging a little deeper into maybe their lives outside of fighting. Because I have friends who are really interesting people outside of fighting. You know what I mean? And I know
Yeah,
these girls have lives. And speaking of that, Lauren herself has a background of stuff that, is just impressive. Like, she's a mom. For one, she's a mom. Like, I get that. I'm a mama too. I have a 6 and a 3-year-old. So being a mom and being a fighter, and I'm assuming working, it's hard. It's hard to juggle. So moms are superwomans as it is. We change shitty pants. We clean up puke. We do. But she's also a black belt in Taekwondo and Jiu Jitsu, and that in and of itself too is impressive. Yeah, look at
yeah,
her.
and
She looks like a bad bitch. You can tell.
she is a. I don't know if she's watching or not, but she is a bad bitch. But of course, I can honestly tell you, the first time that I've ever got a chance to meet Lauren was, I think it was after her very first fight, and it's like, look at how awesome this chick is. Look at how awesome she is,
And she's
and
got the mean mug stare down perfect. Like, I like that. I like
she did.
mean mugging.
She definitely has the mean mugging face, but that's just not who she is. Let me just tell you this though. I talk to this girl daily like I talk to you. She is the
Mhm.
sweetest. She loves being
Yeah.
an absolute sweetheart. Like you said before, she is a mom of a beautiful 5 year old. And another thing
Little girl,
too,
yeah.
another thing too is that the reason why we're talking about Lauren is because it just as of announced through Harvey Cast yesterday is that she's going to be fighting on February 23rd at Epic Fighting. Which congratulations to her. I need to go ahead
Yeah.
and take this. And of course, another thing too is that this is going to be a promotion that she is familiar with. This is Epic Fighting. I mean, her first ever fight was at Epic Fighting.
Yeah.
And of course, she did let me know on some very interesting news is that this fight that she has on February 23rd is going to be for the Epic Fighting Lightweight Championship and for the Lightweight California State title that's going to be happening on February 23rd.
Yeah, and she's 4-3, so she's looking to make it 5-3. And we know how that is when you're wanting to up that W record. You know what I mean? So we're hoping she gets there.
Oh, hands down, hands down. And Lauren, if you're watching this, first of all, I hope you know that I appreciate you. And now you got Chrissy on your side, which
Yep.
it's gonna be incredible. It's gonna be awesome. Cannot wait to watch you fight, guys. If you guys are following me, you guys would know that she's always been a part of our post. So make sure you guys go show some love to Lauren Garcia. The Iron
Hmm.
Butterfly is what we call her. And not only that, of course, I'm gonna try to show y'all, but one of my first autographs was because of her and Kina Montenegro. It was for Valkyrie Fighting Championship, where she fought for a championship against Kina. Even though she lost, she looked like an epic badass. She had on her American Woman gear on. She had on like the USA flag as a gear. It was just so
Hmm.
incredible. And not only that, but of course, she's somebody who I love and adore. So make sure you guys go check out Lauren because an awesome fighter just like you, an amazing mom just like you as well.
Yep. And sometimes those are the funnest matches. Are the ones that sometimes you don't win them, but you go all 3 rounds and you just beat the shit out of each other. So respect to her for that. That's fun. But we
There,
want a W this time, so we think she's gonna get that anyways. We got all hope in her.
we all got all hope in her as well as we got all hope in you for sure. And of course, another woman who had just had the biggest W last night at UFC 297 last night is Mrs. Raquel Pennington, who won the vacant UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship. I don't know if you're familiar with the title, but it was vacant due to Amanda Nunes retiring, dropping the title, and she had an impressive fight. She won via unanimous decision. And of
I'm
course,
so upset about that.
yeah, was Amanda was she your favorite? Was
That's my
Amanda your
girl.
favorite?
That's my girl. Yes, that was my girl. I'm
Well,
sad.
she is she's not only that, but of course we talk about mom. She is also a mom too, mom to a beautiful, beautiful baby girl.
Yeah.
Her and her wife got a chance to celebrate last night, and it was a phenomenal fight, co-main event, as we know, and of course very deserving as well. All both ladies went
She's
through
a
all
great
five
fighter.
rounds. Yeah, she is.
How old is her daughter? Do you know?
She looks like she's about a couple months old, just a couple
Oh,
months.
so small.
She's still
Teeny,
tiny.
teeny, teeny, teeny.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
When
I didn't know she had a daughter. That's awesome.
Yeah, her wife gave birth to her first girl, and um, they had like little protective hearing, so way that she could still hear. But one thing I
Hmm.
really love is if you guys go check out UFC's social medias, she was carrying her baby after she won the title. You can still see the title wrapped around her shoulder, and she was carrying her back to the locker room, and it was just awesome. It was a phenomenal, no, phenomenal moment, and the reason why I'm talking about that because I told people that Raquel Pennington was going to win this fight.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was a lot of trash talking at the press conferences between her and her opponent. But however, though, I definitely believe that there's something special about Raquel. She's been fighting for quite some time, and she definitely deserved that moment. So congratulations on Raquel. I mean, we'll show the
Yeah.
photo once again.
We're
Such an
happy
awesome
for her.
photo.
And sometimes it takes a while to finally get what you deserve. So
I definitely do
it's due
agree.
time. But it's just like kind of with Amanda. She used to bring her daughter into the ring after the fights too. Her and what's her wife's name? I'm drawing up. Nina. Nina. Couldn't think of it. They used to bring their daughter into the ring after matches. I'm like, I want to work out with my girls. I want to. I think I might actually. The next fight is all ages, so and my girls are gonna finally get to see me fight. I am so stoked for that.
I'm very so stoked for that for you as well. And of course, I mean, last night was definitely an awesome night for a lot of women on that card. Obviously, everybody's favorite, smoker and Jillian Robertson getting the first round TKO victory. It was
I wish I could have
awesome.
watched. I was at
Uh,
work.
oh
I was
man.
at work.
Hey, you said she was your favorite, so I mean, there's
Love her. She's awesome.
is there? I mean, there's a lot of reasons why, but of course, what's up with the whole thing? Can you explain that to us? Can you explain that the whole? Is she a heavy smoker?
So I think she is a heavy smoker. From her social media posts, she's pretty open about smoking, and I think with her, it's probably one of those stress relief and body relief things. Some of those fighters we smoke because, I mean, hold on, this is gonna be weird. Hold on, I don't know. Oh god, here comes the weirdest. Oh, you can't see it. I was gonna say I have this fat bruise on my ankle, but like that's our life. Like we have these fat bruises just everywhere, and
Yeah.
literally I have one in the back of my head. So like we're in pain 24/7. You know what I mean? Like yeah, we sign up for it, but we still want some relief. Shit hurts. So that's probably why she smokes as much as she does because she probably trains fucking hard as shit. So but yeah, she's a big smoker. She's pretty open about it too on her social media posts.
She definitely is. I think her profile picture is her smoking, smoking something. So, I mean, you fighters definitely deserve it. I
Hmm.
know when I talked to Danielle Thompson this past Friday, she was not afraid to admit that on those tough days of training, she smokes. She smokes, and she was very
Yeah.
openly about it. And it made me thought of you. I'm like, I wonder who that sounds like.
Yeah, because I am not a drinker. I have stomach problems, so we're not doing that. And I just not interested in drinking. It's just not very fun for me. Um, so like at the end of the day, if I wanted to have something to chill out or something, yeah, I'd rather smoke. You are not gonna catch me trying to down some tequila. Like you're gonna catch me trying to do a dab. Like you're not gonna. We need to chill out, not rage
Oh
out.
man. Yeah, yeah, don't do what I did and buy pretty much a small bottle of moonshine, a strawberry cream white chocolate
Ugh.
moonshine. Oh, it was like my first ever bottle of moonshine, and I was like, yeah, it's just a small bottle. How bad is it gonna be? As I take the shot, I was like, yep, it's pretty bad.
See, I can't find something that tastes very good. Have you ever had peanut butter whiskey?
No, I never had peanut butter whiskey.
Oh, it's like coffee whiskey. It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
I could easily tell you this. So like when I was in the hospital over a year ago, they made me take like something like as strong as moonshine for me to like heal my pain because apparently it helps out with kidney stones. I did not even know about that. So the
Hmm.
nurse handed me like a little cup. It's like it's gonna be strong. It's gonna taste like moonshine. I was like, wait, you're telling the patient to drink moonshine? I was in I was like in the hospital bed. I'm in so much pain, and my mom was like like sitting next to me. So I was like, okay. So I get up, take off my mask, and then gulped it down. I was like, no,
Horrible. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. The
don't.
stuff they give you in the hospital is not good. They're like, it's fine. It don't taste bad. You're full of shit. You're full of crap.
I was looking at my nurse. I'm like, whoever told you this would be good for you is literally full of shit.
You were like, do, 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 do.
Oh,
To her,
yeah.
like, yeah.
Don't do what I did and drink a shit ton of Mountain Dew and end up going to the hospital because that shit will ruin you.
That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what
Mountain
it was.
Dew.
Mountain Dew. Because let me just tell you a quick story, since we're still on air. Is that one thing I can tell you about West Virginia is that we all love two things: Mountain Dew and pepperoni rolls. And so
Pepperoni rolls.
I I basically would drink Mountain Dew like it's water. I would like even when I went to school, I used to live right next to a restaurant called the Cowshed Motel Restaurant. My mom would make me like pizzas and calzones and whatever I could, and then I could just take like a 2 liter bottle with me just to share it with my friends, and we go to the trade school, just eat junk food and drink Mountain Dew. And then this was around the time that Mountain Dew was starting to become pretty big, and it was pretty big into me. I was so heavily addicted to Mountain Dew. I even had like my own little mini Mountain Dew fridge sitting on my counter full of Mountain Dew cans.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I ended up having some kidney pain.
Yeah, of
I
course you did.
I ended up having some pretty bad kidney pain, and they're like, I looked at my mom. I said, "Mom," I said, I remember it was the day that happened. I was at work. I literally walked from work down to the doctor, and I was supposed to have like CT scans done before that, and they told me that, well, did you ever get your results back? I'm like, no, I didn't get my results back. Jacob, you have kidney stones on both sides of your kidneys. And here I am, I'm on fire. I hurried up, counted my register, and I was in such screaming pain that my mom literally had to call the ambulance in order for me to go to the hospital. And then ever since then, I had to have, I think it was around this time last year, literally at the start of last year, I had two surgeries, two different surgeries, in 2 straight weeks, one side on one kidney and the other side on the other.
Hmm.
Ever since then, I'm no longer allowed to have like Mountain Dew, Pepsi. However, I
Oh, no Pepsi.
no milk, no ice cream,
No milk.
no milk. It has calcium in it, and calcium's bad for your kidneys.
I would be
That's
upset. I would be upset. We
like,
have we had
oh,
hit and run where I'm from, and this is like crack cocaine and sodas, and it's got my Pepsi in it because I got gained some weight for this fight. I can't.
well, I
I
mean,
can't.
the one thing I can say is like for those who wonder like what do I drink? I usually drink Starry, which is like the Pepsi version of Sierra Mist, even though they got rid of Sierra Mist for Starry. And then I would drink
Don't
either
be
that.
lying. You know what you be drinking.
I,
Tell him.
I would gladly admit it too. I would gladly admit it if that's what you want there, Missy. But let me get to that. Let me get to the good ones. I mean, I would have Body Armor. I would have Prime. I would have Propel. But this has been a morning thing as of late. So my go-to breakfast, if I have to work in the morning, if I have to be at work in like 2 hours, I would literally walk to the gas station on the other side of town, and while my truck is parked at my work, I would go and grab a spicy chicken biscuit and a dragon fruit Red Bull.
Spicy chicken biscuit.
Yes,
What?
yes, yes. I would literally walk up there because we have a what is called a Tudor's biscuit place in my town that my mom used to work at. That I told her I would never go to ever since she started working with me. So now I go to the gas station instead of going to the biscuit place.
Okay, what's a food that's famous in your state that might be weird? Okay, because if y'all don't know, me and Jake are in completely different states. I'm in Illinois. He
I'm
is
in West
not an Illinoisan. Yin, yin, yin.
Illinois. Is that how we're gonna say it? Illinois.
Yep.
Okay, well, let me just go ahead and tell you where I'm from. I'm pretty much from what is people call the armpit of America. I'm pretty much known as the redneck of the United States of America. I am pretty much from West by God, Virginia, and I'm not afraid to admit that because we have a bunch of crackheads. But let me tell you what's so special about our food. One thing
Crack.
that's special about our food is that we are big. Like our state food is pepperoni roll. Swear to God, it is pepperoni roll.
Pepper. Okay, what does this consist of?
All right,
Surely it's not just pepperoni rolled up.
no, it's literally pepperoni inside of a roll.
Oh,
Yeah,
a bread roll?
pretty much.
Huh?
That's our state food. That's our state food.
Is there anything else in it?
I mean, like you can add like cheese to it if you want cheese in
I
it,
was
but
thinking
like
like you specialize this.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like my mom, like whenever she makes pepperoni rolls, she usually puts like shredded cheese in there, like a little mixture of cheese, and we still eat it. And what people calls us weird is because we usually have like a thing of ranch with it, and it
Mm.
tastes like a pizza with ranch on it, and that's
That's not
all it
bad.
is.
That's normal over here. Like us Illinoisans, we dip everything
On
in ranch. I think I don't, but I'm more of a hot cheese person. But
I gotta ask one question. Since you pretty much put ranch on anything, don't tell me you're like the Tennessee Titans quarterback Will Levis by putting mayonnaise in your coffee, do you?
oh God,
Yes.
no, no, no!
Yes.
Who does that? Who does
Will
that?
Levis. Will Levis from the Tennessee Titans, the quarterback who got drafted last year, who's from Kentucky, by the way.
Mayonnaise in your coffee. That's a new one. No. Mm-mm.
Yes.
Negative. No. I'm trying to think
Uh,
of something weird that I've ate. Hmm. I don't know.
I mean,
Everything has hot sauce in it for me though. That's a big thing. You gotta have. It's not weird, but like hot sauce is a big thing for me. I love sriracha.
I've been trying to get in like spicy foods, but the problem with me is like even if it's like mild or like buffalo, like my whole face will start to sweat, and you see me like going, "How you
That's
doing?"
my dad. Literally, my dad. He won't. It won't even be spicy. I'm telling you. It'll be like some chili, some like not spicy chili, and his whole forehead will be soaking wet. It's wet. It's bad.
Okay,
It's pretty
so
bad.
I will tell you guys something very disgusting that me and a couple of my friends from work had tried. We seen a meme on Facebook about pickle on Snickers, right? So I'm the opening cashier that day, and my office manager buys a thing of pickles and a thing of Snickers. She literally makes us pickles on top of Snickers
We talking
and
sweet pickles or sour pickles?
sweet pickles.
Oh, that's disgusting, man. Seriously.
I think it's good. I think it's great.
Pickle chips on the Snickers?
Yeah.
No, I could maybe. Have you had a Kool Aid pickle?
What's a Kool-Aid pickle? Oh, wait,
You
wait, wait,
don't.
wait, wait. We put the packet inside the pickle, and then
You
I'm
don't.
not.
You don't got a lot of black people in West Virginia, do you?
Unless we go to Welch, no.
I was about to say because kind of yeah. That's a. But yeah, Kool Aid pickles are a very great invention. If you like stuff like that, you should try it.
I've heard of Kool-Aid pies too. I've heard Kool-Aid pies that people have been
Kool
making.
Aid Kool Aid pies.
Yeah, yeah.
I gotta Google it. I gotta Google it.
Literally look it up on TikTok. But another thing too, and yet I know people are gonna at me in the comment section, you as well. But I've been trying something brand new after I tried the Snickers. But I
Mm.
pretty much would put like baby like pickle chips, like little like baby pickle chips on top of Reese's cups.
Oh yeah, you're getting even weirder on me. How was your Snickers protein bar though?
I still have not yet to try it, but I'm actually gonna buy two packs of it tomorrow.
Next Sunday Fun Day podcast, you're eating one live.
That's fine. That's
Call
fine.
it. We're calling him out. He said he was gonna
Call.
try these Snickers bars and he never did.
I'll give it a try. I will literally.
Speaking of
I'll.
food though,
Yeah.
we need to talk about this bulky Conor McGregor. This
Yeah. We need to.
bulky
This guy.
man. Like, what is
Yeah.
going on with him? Did he eat a horse?
So the reason why we're talking about Conor McGregor, and you know what, let me go ahead and take off the photo before all the girls start drooling all over it. You as well. It,
Us
it
Irish people are like, we look good. We are great.
but the big question is Conor making the smart decision by coming back to MMA? Because
Yeah.
so for those who don't know what we're talking about, Conor McGregor, on New Year's Day had a bottle of wine, bottle of champagne, whatever it is, and said that he was going to be fighting Michael Chandler coming up on International Fight Week, or I think it was around June 19th, I believe. You guys correct me out in the comment section. But he
Las
wants to make this
Vegas.
fight. Yeah, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah. I can't remember the date. I just knew it was in Las Vegas.
But what the big question is do you think Conor is making the smart decision by coming back to MMA?
And another thing too, like he's really like he's got fast hands. He's decent at boxing. So like, sometimes when fighters switch over, they end up doing better in a different part of combat sports. And Connor is one of those people who, he's a great boxer. And even when he was in MMA, is in MMA, he still has great hands. So is this smart for him to come back? And on top of that, he just recently is coming off a very traumatic leg injury. So is
Yeah.
this smart to kick full force? Is this something, there's a lot of things that play into that. So is it smart for Connor to come back to MMA? What do you think?
I mean, personally, I mean, if you look at it this way, and this is something I've been thinking about, if you look at the last time he's actually ever fought, as far as inside or outside the ring, I think he took on Floyd Mayweather, and I remember when that fight happened. I mean, Dana White was all in because that's Conor's boy. But then it seemed like there was like a drastic change in Conor after that fight. I mean, he started throwing. I don't know if you ever seen the videos of this, but he was throwing chairs at a tour bus where Khabib was
Yep.
in. I mean,
Fights.
yeah,
Fighters were in the bus. Yep. I
yeah,
think
and
Rose was in the bus too.
Doug was in it, and I think he actually busted Khabib in there. He actually busted up somebody. I don't know who it was, but it was a very bloody scene. I think Conor actually got arrested because of that assault, or I don't even
As
know if
he
it was.
should. As he should.
But another thing too is that I don't know if you noticed, but Connor's actually been drawing some eyes, not just in the MMA style things, but of course in bare knuckle boxing because he actually showed up to a bare knuckle fight. It was I think it was during Courtney's fight, I believe, whenever
Did
he was.
he? I didn't know this.
Yeah, he actually showed up to a bare knuckle event, and I think it's when Mike Perry won the title, or he won one of his fights, and he came in there and he actually did a face off with Mike Perry. And now bare
Now
knuckle.
that, oh, I would like that fight. That'd be nice. That'd be a good fight.
Mike Perry and Conor McGregor, I would definitely love that too. I would definitely
Yeah.
love it as well. But the one thing you definitely got to say is that, we all thought that he was going to be fighting Jake Paul because Jake Paul has been calling him out, been mocking him,
Hmm.
mocking his the Irish people. And I'm thinking to myself, Jake, what are you doing? Do you not know who the hell he is? I mean, that's Conor McGregor. Like, even if he hasn't fought in a
Somehow
while,
Jake wins up winning every match.
we'll talk about
We need to talk
this.
about that eventually.
Well, eventually, we should because we'll have to talk about Logan as well as if we're talking about Jake. But the one thing I can say
That's
about
a
Connor,
whole thing, yeah, to talk
yeah.
about.
But my point is that what one thing I really love about Connor is that he's not afraid to go to like these different promotions. If Dana says something about him to him about it, then I mean, what is he gonna do? Fire him? Because even if Connor
Yeah, he
does
don't
get
give a crap.
no, because I mean he can easily go to bare knuckle right there. Because if things don't work out in the UFC, there is plenty of different fights going on. I think Frankie Edgar had his last fight in bare knuckle, believe it or not. Frankie
Mhm.
Edgar, I think, will end up seating Clay Guida, I believe. I mean, I think I only correct me if I'm wrong. I only know we'll see Frank Sanchez in there as well. Because I mean, there's like a lot of people who used to fight in the UFC been going over to bare knuckle. And I
A
think
lot of people are wanting to too because that paycheck is a lot better. I mean, I've even had one of Courtney's, I don't know if it was her manager or maybe her old coach from back in the day. He doesn't do BKFC, but he runs a different bare knuckle organization. And I'm not a pro and
UIB, I
I haven't
believe.
had a boxing, yeah, BYB. And he had asked me like, "Hey, would you ever want to?" And I'm like, "Yeah, eventually. I'm not a pro yet though, so later on down the road." He was like, "Well, if you ever want to," he was throwing me these numbers and numbers for someone starting out who's never boxed before, and is still an AMI. Like the numbers were good, so
Yeah.
I could only imagine the numbers for someone like Conor McGregor or even just pros that have had the
Yeah.
experience already.
I mean, you also look
The
at it
money's
too.
there.
I mean, the money's there for sure, but you also look at another, fighter from the UFC who did pretty much did two bare knuckle fights. Who, has now been busy doing OnlyFans stuff, and that is Paige Van Zandt. If you remember, she fought your favorite in Bretton Hart. She fought her, and she fought Rachel Stavovich. Yes, I did say favorite, but after that, but the reason why I say that because she was
You're gonna
supposed to
get me in
fight.
trouble. You hear me?
Hey, my hands are above my head, so if Brittany messaged you, that's on me. That's on you. But anyways,
Dude, I'll be making some money then.
but the one thing I can say
She's a
is
great
like
fighter.
she's a great fighter. But the one thing I say about Paige is like, you look at it this way. I mean, she was supposed to fight Chrissy Sogalia. That was supposed to happen in London. She dropped out of the
Hmm.
fight. Supposed to happen later on, didn't happen, and now we've not even seen Paige at all, and sort of fighting. She's been either doing podcasts or OnlyFans, whatever it may be. But it's Connor's point
Yeah.
of view. You said it best. The money is right there. The money is right there, and I believe that if Connor doesn't do well in the UFC anymore, Bare Knuckles is waiting for him right at the door.
Yeah, and if this is an animosity fight, because we're all fighters, we get to talking. Sometimes we get those animosity fights. So he might be coming back to MMA just because of the talking that's going on with it, the hype behind the fight. Um, so it may not be that he's back to MMA. Maybe he's just dabbing his foot back in it. But he's got a decent future if he wanted to go the boxing or bare knuckle route, because the man is a great boxer. He's got fast hands, as Irish people dog mean, and he is, and he ain't scared of nobody. And he's already got this name for himself. And could you imagine the numbers that would come in with Conor McGregor at bare knuckle?
I mean, if you think about this, so I mean, they are owned by Thriller, and I think Thriller does all their pay-per-views, which is being run by Thriller. Does so many great things for Bare Knuckle, so I can see the numbers, the pay-per-view numbers, going up to the roof as far as
Yeah,
Conor McGregor. I mean, if you get Conor McGregor into anything, charity or anything, number eyes and numbers are going to be drawn to you. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, but as
I'm
far
just
as
worried
my
about his leg. That's all I'm worried about. Man, that was brutal. Brutal. Snap.
and, and what's so sad about this is like they made a different season for McGregor and Chandler, and we've not even seen the finalists out of both teams. I haven't even
Right.
seen anything. I don't know about you, but it's just like
I haven't either.
so. We'll see how things go as far as if you're a McGregor fan or if you're a Michael Chandler fan. I know Michael Chandler still has something he wants to prove against McGregor. I mean, these two have been
Hmm.
talking ever since the first fight was supposed to happen, but now this fight is supposed to be going on in June. So with June being my birthday month, I do want to see that. I mean, if you
Hmm.
ask me, but I just hope that McGregor can actually keep his word this time.
Yeah, I don't agree with all his actions, but I am a McGregor fan. He's hard not to like sometimes, but so I'm hoping that fight happens too. It'll be a good one, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course another thing too is that for anybody that's watching or who still is watching, we're not only just doing this just for a one-time thing, because as a matter of fact, once when Chrissy does join back to social media, she is actually going to be my co-host on these interviews. So whoever we get a chance to interview, she is going to be my co-host. We'll gladly get a chance to talk to any woman, whether it being on here or on Instagram. And my question to
Absolutely.
you is like, you really are heavily interested in getting a chance to interviewing fighters. What made you thought about this decision?
This is not something I ever thought that I would do, because I'm not I'm a very outgoing person, but sometimes I'm shy, which is really weird. But we've built a friendship that I'm comfortable with, so that helps. But I think that a lot of us need a platform to speak. We go through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes just building friendships out of the podcast helps too. But it gives us something to, if they want to talk about a previous fight because they don't agree with the decision, or if they want to talk about how stressful their fight camp has been and they want a platform, or if they need advice on something and they need a bigger audience, like they have a space to come and talk. And I think that with it being a women's only well, you sponsor, that's what you support is the women's MMA. I think that you having someone to help you here and there, that is a woman, that is a fighter, that has that personal experience, it helps you, or it may help you get like a better insight to it as well.
I definitely do agree, and of course, I mean, I've been doing this now for 2 years. I mean, my very first, solo interview was Kira Martinez, and there's like we talked about this before we went on air. I mean, there's a lot of different fighters that I would love to get a chance to interview again, to get a chance to rewrite those interviews, and of course, to get a
Mhm.
chance to have a co-host will definitely make things better for me because it could be more than just the same questions that I'm asking them. But of course, there'll be a lot of different questions. But the thing about this though is like, as an interviewer, you always have to make sure you talk to, like, if they're being sponsored, you also got to make sure you talk to the team. Because when Gabrielle was, I got a chance to have those 2 interviews with her, I got a chance to talk to her team, and her team, who is so down to earth, was like, "Hey, we was wondering if you want to get a chance to interview Gabrielle." And then how the second interview came up was like, "Hey, Gabrielle wants you to interview her again. Would you be down?" I was
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, absolutely," because any opportunity as an interviewer, or it's just like a fighter taking a huge fight. You take every opportunity you get. Either you take the biggest
Yeah.
interviews, or it can be like like an amateur interview. Because I mean, like I said before, I mean, when you see this page, when you see this platform, you see yourself and so many different amateurs and pros, and that's what I love about this. Because we get a chance to talk different perspectives as far as their different perspective on things such as life, such as the fighting, such as their stories, whatever it may be. And one thing I can definitely tell you is that the stories that these ladies have shared are going to be phenomenal for you to get a chance to check out.
Yeah, and there's so many different people on the Fighting Now page. Like we literally have bare knuckle fighters to UFC fighters to just amateurs out of different states, and there's a wide variety. So when the people get a chance to speak on here, like they have so many other people that they may not have on their personal page that now get to see them and know about them and maybe follow them, or if they need sponsors, they have somewhere to speak about that.
Yeah.
So it's a great platform.
Now, of course, now one thing I definitely want to get a chance to do is that I do have one question for you, and this, and I've been asking all the fighters this, and I'm going to ask you this, and at the end of the day, we all want to be recognized for something that we do in the sport. Me, I want to get a chance to be recognized as that one interviewer who loves every person I interview, any person I talk to, just like I do with you and others. But as a fighter, you want to be recognized for something different. So I got to ask you this on the spot, but what's something you want to be recognized for during your time of fighting?
Giving all the glory to God, all of it, every bit of it, literally. My last fight, uh, I didn't win. I had planned to win, but you sit there and you think about, well, why did this happen this way, or why did this happen that way? And really, it's all for him. It's crazy. It all lines up, and this is gonna have to be like a whole probably separate podcast. But to spread his love, to spread his kindness, to spread his word and his truth, because and that's another reason too that I'm glad that I joined on the podcast, because there's a bigger platform to talk about that with people who need to talk about it, because let's be honest, like we all need him, and the glory goes to him anyways. The wins, the losses, the lessons, like the tribulations. If there's one person that has your back through all of it and gets you through those nights or those times where you're like, don't want to be here no more, or I'm going through certain things that I don't think I can triumph. There's mercy every morning when you wake up, and the only person that gets the glory for that is him. So whenever I fight, it didn't used to be for him back when I wasn't as big of a believer as I am, but now it is. Like 2 fights ago, I walked out to Lion by Elevation Worship and Brandon Lake, and actually, a lot of people were hyped. This song is grungy, like it's a good song, and just anything that has to do with God, letting people know how good He is and getting His word out. That's what I fight for. I've prayed backstage with my team of non-believers. Trust me, they probably didn't want to pray with me, but they had no choice. um, my pastor has been at my fight. I've walked out to worship music, just spreading the word. That's
I'll
why,
tell you now.
yeah, that's why I like it. Makes
I
me
definitely
happy.
one thing I really love is that the videos and photos you send me of you praising and all that. It's like
Mhm.
I really do admire that for sure, and I definitely believe that you definitely have an amazing message for you to share. And for anybody that's willing to get a chance to check out the incredible things that you do, once again, make sure you guys go follow her at the sweetheart Chrissy Long on Instagram, because one thing I can definitely say, and what, I did this kind of unexpected, but one thing I can say, and yet. I want to first of all tell you I'm very, very proud of you. You have
Thank you.
been doing so many incredible things, and believe it or not, if it wasn't for Hannah and if it wasn't for Bree, I would not have got a chance to meet my best friend that I know and love today. So really, truly, and want to thank you for being my sister, for being my best friend, and for being alongside this crazy, crazy ass journey that we're going to be doing with through
Hmm.
because it's as I'm getting a little bit emotional here, one thing I can say is like you have been an inspiration to me, to your daughters, to your family, to everything that you're doing. And I'm glad you're a part of this page because the world needs more people like you. The world needs more warriors like you inside and outside the
Thank
cage.
you.
And
Yeah,
uh,
I try to spread the light. I try. I'm always checking up on my people, so I'm glad we got a good friendship.
I definitely am glad to. And of course, I hope you know what's next. But to get a chance to have you on here, of course, right now, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I'm not.
We will be back on in the January or the beginning of February because we got some more news to talk about. But I'm sure I will be back on Facebook by then, so I'll be able to spread the date. My
Of course.
my fast ends this Sunday, so I'll be back on social media.
And of course, if you guys want to get a chance to make sure you get your TMH fit, make sure you guys go get yourself some TMH fit at tmh.fit on Instagram. Or if you want some Fighting Now merch, I will gladly get a chance to show that glorious shirt once again
Yep,
at the Fighting Now. The link is in my bio. Make sure you guys go check that out.
they
But
come in different colors too,
they
and they
definitely
got some
do.
nice colors. I like the red one.
And if you're a fat ass like me, they also have 5X, so that way that you also have some extra sleeves there for you, some extra
You need
warmth.
some room. You got some big muscles.
But no, no, because I got big titties. But
Oh, you're a goofball. Well,
I
we'll
was,
see you all in the January, right?
of
Or
course, I did.
beginning of February. I gotta look at my calendar.
I think we'll definitely make sure that I think we'll definitely do a later time because I know folks are going to be wanting to watch the AFC and the NFC championship games. I don't
Yeah,
know who.
football.
Yeah,
Man, everything is on right now. There's a bunch of
yeah,
stuff people need to
yeah.
get
I'll
into.
say as far as the NFC championship game, I think that's a 6 o'clock game. So all I'm gonna say is go Lions. As far as the NFC, AFC, my team's not in it, but if I have to root, give me the Ravens. I guess. I guess give me
You're
the
like, I
Lions.
guess.
I mean, I'm a diehard Steelers fan, but if there's one team I have to see going as far as the AFC side, I'm like, just give me the stupid Ravens. Like, I hate the Ravens
My
with a passion.
my brother and nephew are diehard Chiefs fans, and man,
No offense, but I hope that they're losing right now against Buffalo. I'm hoping that they're losing.
I think when I left my house earlier, they were.
Yeah, yeah. Before we started, I think they were losing. Because no offense, but I'm tired of seeing. I'm sorry to all the Swifties out there, but
The
I'm I'm
Swifties.
sorry, but I don't want to see the Kansas City Swifties in
Players
the.
gonna play, 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 play.
You just ruined it. You just ruined it.
I'm not a
Wow.
Swiftie, I promise. We can still be friends.
Okay, because I think just like the Buffalo Bills fans did at the tailgate, they literally grabbed a picture of her and set her on fire. They literally, they literally
Ruthless.
did. Yeah,
Ruthless.
if the Bills are winning, I mean, Bills Mafia all the way. Because I mean, I'd like to get put through a table one time. I mean,
What?
have you not seen that? Yeah, the Bills
No.
Mafia. That's what they call it, the Bills Mafia. They actually put themselves through tables.
Yeah, they do that. That's weird. Why? Why? See,
I
they left me speechless. Why?
I mean, I have seen them gone through some flaming tables, believe it or not. They actually set a table on fire and then put themselves through it.
Well,
They,
if you want some adrenaline rush, you can just like skydive or something. Like you don't have to fight a fire. Yeah, you
I'm,
don't have to
I mean,
fuck
it is
out too much.
cold up in Buffalo, so I mean, that's why they have to use a lot of fire.
They're like body bonfire, toasting some
Body,
marshmallows. Body
body.
bonfire.
I'll, you have to
We're
look
getting
up.
tired now. It's bedtime.
uh, Why does you just sound like when I do bedtime? Where
Bedtime.
are you? And I'm so
Wait.
sorry.
I like an emo song.
I feel
I
emo right
set
now.
my wrist and I go to bed crying.
I mean,
We're getting old now, is
I
what we're
can't,
doing.
I can't really say anything because that was actually my childhood. I was an emo kid growing up, so
Were you really? Did
yeah,
you have the swishy black hair?
I didn't have this wisp black hair, but I had like the long hair that covered my eyes, and I pretty much would let the girls in band class paint my fingernails black, and I
Yeah.
would, yeah, I was emo. Like I think if you look back on the interview that I had with Bree, I would tell her like all the bands I would listen to for sure. But ladies and gentlemen, that will do it from us. If you guys like what you see, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget your chance to go follow Chrissy's Instagram. She will be back on there next Sunday. If you guys want to
Yeah,
get a chance to follow, and I am Jake representing the Fighting Now, not Jake from Warner State Farm. But until then, ladies and
with some
gentlemen,
khakis.
too bad my fat ass rips khakis like I'm SpongeBob. But a
Ripped my pants.
do you remember the story I told you about about a month or so ago?
We'll keep that between us.
Yeah, but but ladies and gentlemen, until next Sunday for Chrissy, I am Jake saying so long, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.